1, 2, 3, go.
Like that? Yeah, like that. Now you prepared me.
It's like, you know how when kids are like, okay, go on 3. And they're like, 1, 2, 3, go. Wait,
yeah? Wait, go on 3. Yeah, literally. That was Landon and Harper the other night when they were doing Rochambeau. He's like, Mom, she doesn't go right after 3. She goes on 3. I'm like, yeah, Harper.
Shut up. Both of you.
I'm like, okay, let me do it with y'all.
But see, so welcome back, guys. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Sorry.
Hi.
Over here just had a freaking week. But today we're going to talk about letting the kids, I don't want to say sibling rivalry because I feel like my boys don't have a rivalry. They just drive me fucking insane.
Oh, mine for sure have a rivalry. Like,
well, they're brother and sister, so maybe that's why.
But like about whenever we get all of our friends' kids together, it doesn't always go that smooth, you know? And we're the moms that sit back. You got to work it out. The only time we will get involved is if like somebody's getting hurt or
bleeding. Yeah. Dying.
But if they're like just having a disagreement about something, we'll just sit there and we'll listen. We're like,
or like Brianna tells them, we are still all going to be friends after this.
Yeah, so figure it out.
It's going to be real awkward if you guys cannot figure it out. And we are still going to meet and hang out
and all that jazz.
So, you know what? I will say this because I see Harper and Landon, maybe because they're brother and sister, they're pretty close in age. The rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Especially when it comes to my time or attention. Oh, my God. I'm like, Jesus! Mom! I feel like Harper is one of those birds, like off of Nemo. That's like,
hi?
Yeah. But instead, Mom! When Jay can't find me around the house, I'm like, stop!
You're like hiding in the bathroom crying.
I'm like, I'm changing my name!
I'm in here.
I'm in the closet eating a fudge bar.
Well, oh, God, that's one with my kids is like, if either of them have something, the other one doesn't, or if I want a treat, like, look, we're eating lollipops.
We had to wait.
Now, we had to wait till we all went upstairs and take the lollipops. And this one was smart enough to throw away the wrapper. I wasn't. I was like...
And I was like, no evidence.
No evidence, no crime scene, no crime.
Exactly.
Nothing ever happened.
We watch too many crime shows.
Yeah. Maybe I'm trying to get away with something. No.
Eating the candy.
I know, I'm like, I would have definitely got away with it. Serving like 25 to life. I'm like, not me. I would have remembered to lock the door.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, put the chain on.
But no, with Cam and Jed, because there's an 8-year age gap, I was confident. I was like, surely they won't have really any altercations, because me and Star grew up 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Matthew. That was the weirdest sneeze ever. I was afraid for you. Were you trying to hold it in?
No, I burped at the same time.
Oh my
now my eyes are watering.
Give it 5 years and it'll be a burp fart sneeze. 5 years.
Dude, ask anybody. Like, I never sneeze only one time. I always sneeze like 20. I had 20 in the fucking chamber and only one came out because I also was burping at the same time.
You're sorry about that. Don't steal my light.
Oh, no, my turn.
That's some sibling rivalry right there.
All right, my bad.
No, you're fine. Are you okay?
So, yeah.
I'm worried about you.
I'm just crying. It's
okay.
Need a minute? No.
You're like, I'm crying thinking about these badass kids. Me. Oh my God. But no, truly, I didn't think they'd ever fight. And Cam and Jed fight just as much as me and Star did. We're 2 years apart, if not more.
And it's so funny that Jed don't even talk. But he'll hit the hell out of you, though.
He'll swing on you.
He'll show you with his actions.
Papa.
When you're not even, like, expecting it. So I could see how Cam is like, yo, stop.
Well, the problem is that there's times where Jed thinks it's, like, funny, like, messing with him, because Camden has also started the whole play fighting thing. So then he's like, I want to play fight all the time. But
like
Camden's
wrestling
like,
and stuff.
Yeah, relaxing. But then, yeah, there's times where Jed is just being Jed. And I don't know if he's, like, overstimulated or Cam did something earlier to piss him off or what. But, like, he will wait till, like, Cam is, like, on the couch and he'll, like, come up and, like, pull his hair. Or, like, pop the shit out of him. And then I'm like, just tell him, like, nice hands, don't react, blah, blah, blah. Or I'll put him in timeout. But then there's times where, like, if I'm in the kitchen or I'm, like, doing laundry or some shit.
Cam hits him back
and all I hear is, and I'm like, boys! And then Cam's like, he hit me first. I'm like, he's a baby. You're 11. He's 2.5. I'm like, what is the issue? And then I just get all pissed off. And then Cam's crying because I'm mad at him. And I'm like, God damn.
I can't have 5 seconds of quiet. Like, that's literally right when my kids get in the car, get out of the car. They're just always like just whispering stuff to each other because they know if I can hear them, they're both going to get in trouble. But then I'm like, I can hear y'all still. Like, they're always like, later will be like, I can't believe you came through my side of the car. Like, you have your own side of the car. I'm like, it doesn't really matter. Let her in. You're adopted. For real. Well, it's like this morning, you know, she stayed home from school, and so she slips on his fuzzy Crocs that he just got from my mom. Oh no! And he doesn't notice until we're in the car, and then he's like, "Oh, she's got my shoes on." And I'm just like, Harper, and I look back at Harper, and she's like, "I'm like, you did that shit on purpose. You're choosing violence before 7 a.m. Like, please, what is wrong with you?" I'm like, I can't even turn on music before y'all start fighting.
Let me tune you out at least. For real. I think that's what's hard is I think a lot of the times, like I do try. I see these and I'm like, okay, I have a question to the moms. If you're gentle parenting, is it fucking working? Like, really? Be real with us. Tell us. Is it working? Because
I feel like I'm half and half. Like, sometimes I'm pretty chill about some stuff that my mom would have flipped about.
Oh, yeah. I agree there.
And then sometimes I'm flipping because I'm like, yo, like, this cannot continue. Like, so I guess it just depends on what it is.
But I see the moms who are like constantly like, no, that's a bad choice. And I'm like, I think at this point, little Timmy needs a good pat on the ass. I'm
like, let me tell you, that shit don't work on my son. On my daughter, yes, because if you like look her dead in the face, she gets her feelings hurt. And so she'll be like, okay. Landon, he'll be like, and I'm like, oh, see, really?
I find it's best to let them work that shit out until I always tell them, if I have to go up there or if I have to come down there or whatever, go over there.
That's what my mom used to say.
I'm like, it will be ugly for both of you. And then all of a sudden I just like hear like them like, you know, kind of like get settled and Camden's all still pissed off. And I'm like, dude. And I always, I know. I'm like, that's
like banging shit.
Like, that's them figuring it out right now.
Yeah, for real.
They're like survival of the fittest.
Our moms are always busy.
They're like with like a drum.
Can they hear us now?
Yeah, like, trying to initiate someone. But like, I'm like, Cam, y'all have got to figure it out because for me too, besides the gentle parenting, if it's working. But I honestly think in my mom heart that conflict resolution is something that even adults can't handle in this day.
No, and I feel like if you learn it younger, then, you know, it works out better. I mean, I'm not saying I was shushed. Yeah, I'm not saying I was shushed as a kid, but with 4 of us, we kind of were shushed. Like, because my mom would have to be like, okay, if I listen to all 4 of them, I don't know who to trust. Like, whatever, all 4 of y'all are wrong. Like, yeah. And so you're just like, shit. But like, I feel like I actually take the time to listen to the kids a lot more just because I'm like, okay, hold up. They're little. They're trying to learn the way of life and to talk things out. If I want them to know how to talk things out, it starts with me.
Right. And even too, giving them the practice amongst themselves because, you know, like one thing I will say is like me and Star, we were 2 years apart. There was only 2 of us, but we were so close in age that like earlier when you were saying how Harper and Landon like will fight in the car kind of like
just like nitpicking, yeah, and just whispering.
Me and Star used to physically fight, but we didn't ever like want my mom to like quote unquote hear us. So when we'd get in the back of the car, we would like just kind of like hit each, and all you could hear was like, and like just try. My mom could definitely still hear us, but she at that point was like, if I say anything to these 2 kids, I might just fucking drive off the bridge. Just like
take it down to the river, all the water.
I'm gonna ignore this shit until I absolutely can't.
She'll be that other Casey Anthony, whatever her name was, fucking drowning her kid.
Who's it? Lorena? What's her? The one who stuck him in the car and just.
Hi. Yeah, she's literally on the news. My kids are just missing. Says nothing about putting her car in the river like with her children.
Just, like, I was like, this crazy bitch. Yes. So my mom was like, because she was a single mom too, so she was always on edge. So we just kind of learned. But I will say, like, my mom, like, if we couldn't decide and we didn't have a lot of money, she'd be like, okay, well, you want this and you want that. I only have money for one thing, so why don't you guys debate about it? Elena, give me 3 points why that is better than Star's thing and Star vice versa. And so we would be like, well, McDonald's is better because blah, 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 blah. And we get more for our dollar. And, like, we would have to, like, talk those things out. And, like, here's my thing.
I'm going to make my kids start doing that shit then.
You should.
All right.
I do. And so what I like is, like, okay, like Cam and, Jed, they have an 8-year age gap. Jed is nonverbal, right? They have some things where they go back and forth. It's usually the physically fighting. But, like, when I have my boyfriend's son, Ben, I think maybe because they don't live together, but they're less than a year apart. Ben was born in June of 2013, or June of 2014, sorry. And Cam was born in August of 2013. So they're 10 months apart? They're right under a year apart, girl. Yeah. They're right under a year. So I'm always like, at first when I would take him and I would have to do things, I would get a little bit apprehensive, like, what if one wants to do this and the other one wants to do that? And they're both essentially, Ben is an only child, but Cam was the only child for a long time too. So I'd be like, okay, what if they like, kind of go back and forth? Like maybe I could just make them each get. But what I've seen is like when I let them work it out on their own, when I'm like, we're going to go do this and like you guys, blah, 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 like y'all figure out what we're going to eat. They'll be like, should we maybe like they'll like talk about it. Even the other day, we went to the Thinkery. Jonathan was like, oh, yeah, like, we were talking about what we were going to do for lunch. And he was like, they're going to, I forgot what word. He used some fancy-ass word. Sometimes that man, I'm like, I got my education, but,
what the fuck?
What the fuck are you trying?
Can you speak normal people to me?
I think he said commiserate. I don't know what the fuck he said. But basically, he meant they were going to get together and talk about it. I was like,
we're going to communicate, bitch? Yeah. You could have said that shit. Communicate. You can even sign it. Or...
Yeah, like, you could just, what? I was like, anyways.
Talk.
I'm like, they're going to talk about it amongst each other. But so, what's crazy, though, is I see adults lack those basic skills.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Girl,
all the time.
I'm like, no conflict resolution.
No, they're just like, okay, my feelings are hurt, so I'm done talking to you forever. Damn.
Because we didn't agree on what?
I know. I was like, damn, one confrontation over the years of never any confrontation? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like, we couldn't talk about it a little bit.
There really are people like that. And I've lost friends that way. And I'm just like, yo, you're really going to give up a friendship from one? Like, we can't even talk about one singular situation. You're not an adult then.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where I think it starts. Okay, so I'll say this. It starts
when you're a child.
It starts when you're a child. Sure. Because I want to give this example. We were at the Thinkery, and I'm getting worked up because... girl, that mom. Let me just tell a story. I was like, that mom.
I was like, what mom? Let me see the team.
I mean, so here's my thing: is right. Like Ben has now been in my life a little bit over a year, and even like with y'all's kids, like your kids, Courtney's kids, all my friends' kids. Like, if I love your babies, I'm gonna love your babies like mine, and I'm gonna defend them like mine, right? So we're at the Thinkery, and Ben is like a soft-natured child.
Like, he really is. He really is. Anytime I hang out with him, he's just like, what? I'm like, you don't want any pizza or anything?
Yeah, to the point where I'm like, Ben,
like, come on.
Yes. What do you
want?
Yourself.
What do you want?
For yourself. Yeah. Yep. He's the kind of kid where I'm like, or I'll see him like give like his last bit of like something to like Jed, and I'm like, that is yours. Jed already had his. I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. Yeah. It's yours. What's yours is yours. Yeah. So we're at the Thinkery and we're outside at the playground. We went on Free Museum Day. I did post that. I hope other moms went.
I saw that.
It was long, the line.
I was about to say, because it's free.
It was free. But you know me, anything FREE, I'm there.
She's like, I brought snacks for the line. We're good. You good? See, I already know, bitch. I would have brought. Everybody gets it. When we leave the house, my kids know we all three grab a drink. Yeah. And we all three grab a snack depending on where we're going. If we're going to a zoo, museum, anything like that, we have to have a road snack.
Right. So
just in case.
I that morning was like, 3 bottled waters in the freezer, right? And then I had my little satchel, so I had just like one diaper, one wipey, I had Germex, and then I each had like 3 little chips for them, and then like one little thing of trail mix and one little granola bar in case somebody didn't want the chips. Yeah. But I was prepared.
See? So I'm like, we come stacked.
We come ready. Yeah. So we finally get in there after like waiting or whatever, and the kids are having a blast. We're inside downstairs for a little bit, then we go outside. And there's like a water dam kind of area. I haven't been in years. I haven't been in years, so I don't remember that. Is that...
No, they redid it a couple years ago. I think like 3 years ago.
Okay, the last time I went, Cam was like Jed's age.
Oh, yeah, no. See, they redid it a couple years ago.
It was badass. It was cool.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people there. But so there's like all these like little building blocks to like build the dam and see the water, like, you know, because it's
how it goes. Like,
right.
It's the thinkery. It makes you think of
how.
I'm
like,
you're so ghetto when you said that.
Okay, so that brings me to my whole point. Is like, as
your ghetto came out,
educated as I may be,
like when you crunked on the cruise,
I was like, the ghetto. I think it comes out when the mama bear comes out. If you mess with my babies, and that's like not just like we're done. You can. That's it, girl. You can call it a wrap. Or if a kid's like, go get your, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, go get your mother. You know what? Go tell your mama to come over here and talk to me. But so Ben is just playing with the blocks. And this little girl, like, he didn't even, like, I've seen kids be ugly and, like, knock over kids' blocks before.
Yeah.
Or, Landon. Like, take a whole bunch of them.
He loved doing that shit.
Yeah. But he wasn't like that. He took one of her blocks, which she still had plenty to make her dam, and he started making his little thing, and she was like, no, like, blah, 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 blah. And I, like, looked, and Ben's like, doesn't know what to do, because, mind you, he's not a heathen, so I shouldn't be like this with the girl, but I was so annoyed with her. And the mom sees it, right? And I tell Ben, you're okay. Why don't you go with Camden on the playscape? Okay? And then the mom tells her something in Spanish, not knowing that I know Spanish, and she's like, hey, like, what's the deal? And then the little girl is like, why do I have to accommodate that little boy? He doesn't own the place in Spanish. But the mom, I think, figured out I knew Spanish, because when my face, I looked at her and I looked at the little girl. Mind you, then the little girl jumps over that thing and almost kicks Jed by accident. And I'm like, and then the mom was like, let's go inside. And I'm like, real loud, because Jonathan's by me. I'm like, yeah, why don't you do that? Let's go inside. And then when Ben comes back over, because he sees him leave, I'm like, thank you for being the bigger person, Ben. All out, because I was like,
if you say it in Spanish?
No.
That would have been even better.
But the mom knew both. She just talked to her daughter in Spanish. But my whole problem is the mom did not correct her, didn't even ask her what happened. I don't know if the mom saw the whole thing. If she did.
So her daughter's just always right.
Her daughter's always right. And instead of her daughter taking any form of accountability, or her giving her daughter the opportunity to learn and figure it out and work it out and problem solve and conflict resolution, say, okay, I see your point, but there's plenty of other blocks. What else can you do?
There's plenty of people here. You don't need 80,000 blocks.
You tell me, what else can you do besides just leave? But the mom was like, let's just go. Okay, let's just go.
Bye.
Yeah, because if that was my kid, I would have been like, excuse me, you can share. Why don't you figure out how you can share, or we could leave?
Yeah, I'm like, did you not go to kindergarten where you learn to share?
But give your kid the opportunity to work it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Unless someone's in imminent danger, like had she like grabbed Ben by the collar or something. I mean, obviously I would have immediately been like, where's your mama? Because I'm about to spank you.
Can your mom fight? Because I could fight.
I know, that's what's like when you're like, the ghetto just came out and I'm like, it's hard.
It comes out so fast.
It comes out so fast. It's
God,
so hard.
And we tone her down for like months, and then it's just that one instance. It's like, actually, motherfucker, I was just about to say you should go inside.
Yes,
I was just about to suggest that same fucking thing.
Because I'm waiting for the mom, and I know everyone's like,
to initiate. Yeah,
people parent differently, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
she talk to her daughter separately.
But are you gonna still be there to sit them to defend them when they're 18 and in court? Like,
right? Or when they're in the workplace. Let's think about this, like you said. Real world situation.
Yep.
They get in trouble with the law, right? Is your child going to be able to tell the cop, well, I don't like this, so I'm just going to leave and I'll talk about it with myself, and when I come back, I'll tell you what. No. Same thing with jobs.
Mom.
Yes, no. You have to give your child the opportunity right then and there, figure it out, and then later, I'm not saying embarrass your child, hit your child in public. If you believe in corporal punishment, you should do that privately, my opinion. But at some point, at some age, you've got to give your kid that freedom to be like, hey, what can you do differently right here, right now?
Yeah, how could I'd be like, son, like, you know that this is a public place and we have to share. This isn't your home. This isn't your specific stuff. You did not buy this.
Right.
That's how and the only time I usually intervene is if I feel like Landon's getting too like hands-on. Like if they're like wrestling or whatever, but I see him being a little too aggressive, I'll be like, hey, you know.
Yeah.
cut it.
That's different.
But besides that, I'll even do like this sometimes. If my kids are having an argument and like can't work it out and they're like, Mom, I'll do like this. And just walk upstairs. And I'm just like, figure it out. Because that stress is not mine. Like, y'all arguing about something stupid is on y'all.
And that stress is just on a very small, right now, like, magnitude compared to, like I said, when they become adults.
Like, work stress, driving stress, somebody hit you stress, you know. Like, I mean, in the car, not physically. God, I dare a bitch.
Not physically. But, okay, and so this is also what got me thinking about it was because, you know, my therapist, anyways, she was like...
That bitch needs to be fired.
But she brought up a good point.
It's your lollipop, bitch.
She brought up a good point.
Waving it around like a wand.
Like a cigarette. I'm like, my therapist.
Actually, my therapist said.
I'm like burning it out. But she brought up a good point because she was like, I told her honestly, I'll share this. This is a little bit probably more than I anticipated to share, but my therapist thinks I'm OCD. And when she
shit. I could be. All right, pay me to be your therapist now.
I've been saying that for years.
I've been saying that shit for like 4 years.
You're like, Eddie, you are OCD.
You are the problem.
You are the problem.
I'm just kidding.
But I told her, I was like, no. Like, when we first talked about it, I was like, I'm not a super clean person. She was like, yeah, that's a misconception. Not what that means. She was like, that's a misconception. It could be a tic, you know, that's associated with someone who has compulsive disorder, but OCD is a much bigger thing. So then when we talked about it more in detail, I was like, well, I think I'm just anxious and I have anxiety, and some things, like when they don't go my way, like I get anxious about them because I will. And
because you're OCD because it didn't go your way.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
So because you've seen me.
That's what my therapist said. She was like, you ask for their help, like, can you please clean this? But then when they don't clean it the way you clean it, you're like, fuck no, I have to do it by myself. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yes.
Like, I do that shit.
I do too. That's when I start throwing away stuff.
And I'm like, fuck this.
Toys, fuck it.
Like, literally, me. So I was just like, oh shit.
I'll have to bring the trash can. I'm like, all of this is trash. But so I told her, I was like, I know a lot of people have anxiety. And she goes, a lot of people in the U.S. say they have anxiety, but only like 20% of the population
actually has it.
She's like, even if everyone who said they had anxiety went to a therapist, 9 out of 10, it's probably something else, like another, you know, ADHD, ADD, bipolar, DID, all these different things. It could be something else. And anxiety is now just like a blanket term, but it kind of made me laugh because she goes, think about it. Anxiety is literally the fear of the unknown and the confrontation of it. And she goes, that's like if someone rear-ended you got in the car and said, oh, I'm anxious, and just ran away. She's like, that's anxiety. And I started dying. She goes, but OCD is if you filled up your car the night before, you got up 30 minutes early to get ready to go to work, you got rear-ended on the way,
and then now you have to take your car,
and now you're 10 or 15 minutes late to work, you've got to deal with the insurance, so things didn't go the way you wanted to plan, and you pre-planned them down to the T.
That's
and you're pissed the rest of the day.
I'm like, oh, it didn't go my way.
That's OCD. Yeah. She's like, anxiety is you getting rear-ended saying, no, I'm anxious. And booking it. I can't talk. It's like that South Park meme.
The one I just sent you, bitch. Literally, he like gets out of the car. Oh, anxiety. That's why I'm like this.
He's like, no,
dude, I did a good impression.
It's me. I'm like, girl.
I'm the voice of it. I'm just kidding.
But that's like literally what it is. It's kind of funny now. I'm like, oh, I'm a little spooked out. I'm like, she almost described that to a T. But so she was like, no, most people don't have anxiety. She was like, and just, be careful with throwing around words like that, especially if you have little ones. And it really made me think, because sometimes I'm like, man, I'm so anxious, or, oh, it's my anxiety, ha ha ha. But Cam is around and he hears those things. So I'm essentially,
don't want him to say that.
I don't want to pass off the buck that you have an out, and I am going to foster and give you that copped out of resolving things head on.
Yeah.
That's like you said, that's not the way the real world works.
And see, I've always thought Landon had anxiety, like a form of anxiety, like not anxiety in itself, but he has never said that. He's always like, hey, I'm acting this way because I'm frustrated, or I didn't get to say my opinion, or like, you know, he always
those are real valid
he
feelings.
gives me huge, like, valid, like, reasonings always. But I did find out that because I got him tested for ADHD, and I was just like, it's something. Like, it is something we need like better answers, because right now he sees a play therapist. Well, I'm like, it's obviously not working like it used to work the first like year and a half, 2 years, but then it's kind of like weaned off as he's gotten older. Well, his doctor was like, so he doesn't have ADHD because he's not hyperactive, but he has a form of ADD. And I'm like, okay, like what? And she was like, it's called impulsive control disorder. And it's to where like he does things first and then thinks about it after. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's for sure him. Okay, so that makes sense. She's like, I'm not going to say that's a definitive diagnosis because I want to continue to like look after him every 3 months and like redo, you know, the scales between you and his teachers and everybody else. But that's kind of what it's leaning towards. So this type of therapist, which is a behavioral therapist, I think would be in your best bet versus the play therapy. And I'm like, see, as long as we're having, I'm so glad I don't have to put my son on medicine, but I'm also glad that we have support, like a different type of support system, because I was gonna be like, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't have that disorder. Like, but you know, I don't have
taking the necessary steps for him to be able to work it out on his own with the tools he's learning in therapy to be successful as a young adult and as an adult male. Like,
yeah, and I'm not even like ashamed to be like, yeah, my son's been in therapy for 2.5 years, because when me and my ex got divorced, like he took it real fucking hard, and then the like moving states away, like even worse. So I'm thankful for therapy, especially for him.
Oh yeah, same thing with Jed. The reason why the therapist originally came with Jed was because he had that regression. He was babbling and saying some words, and then he stopped talking. And I thought I was like, do babies get depressed? Like,
there's a mosquito.
Like, I'm not watching it.
I know. I saw him come around the corner. Yeah, I didn't get him. Like, did you see it? I still didn't get him. God, I'm terrible at this. I know.
He's like,
he's torturing me on purpose.
I know.
He's like, bitch, I'm waiting to suck your blood.
He's like, I've been messing this one. He's like, you're all the other.
You're brown, girl.
I know.
He don't want that brown sugar. He wants that white sugar.
He's like, I want that vanilla, not the caramel. But no, like,
caramel's my favorite, actually.
I brought in the therapist because I thought that maybe Jed was experienced, and he was sad when his dad left. Even though he was only like a little over 1, he understood.
Because he's all about all his other senses. So since he doesn't talk, he's all about like smell, feel.
Well, even taste. Too, you know, John worked overnights. So when John would come home in the morning, we would just kind of be getting up to start our day when I worked from home. And John would come in and be like, good morning, mijo. And he would like,
he got used to that.
He got used to it. And for, I kid you not, a month, Jed would wake up and just stare at my door. And it would kill me. I'd cry every time. I know, it would kill me. Oh my God. Girl, even now.
And they don't even give a shit, man. That's what pissed me off.
I literally sent him so many videos of like, please, like, we don't have to work it out. But Jed is literally calling out for you, looking for you.
Come and see him.
Come and see him, like something. Didn't care. So, anyways, the point is that
she has court next week.
Court, no, this week.
No, this week. Oh, in 2 days.
Thursday. Ooh. Pray for me, y'all, because
I pray she don't go to jail. I pray she don't jump over the boundaries between her and Mr. What's his name?
I hate that we share last name.
I pray she gets her last name changed back to her maiden name.
I literally am thankful for therapy because when I got Jed his autistic diagnosis, they were like, yeah, he's sad. I mean, babies get sad, but like there's some bigger issues going on here. And then like 2, it's just helped me with Jed. Like, even though he's not verbal, I think I told you that I got one of the dog talk buttons off Amazon. Have you seen this dog?
Oh, yeah.
The dog. Like,
but you didn't tell me that you got one.
So, like, for Jed, for when we go to church, the daycare there, he had some incidents where he cannot tell the other kids, I need space, or get away from me, and he gets overstimulated really quickly, so he reacts physically. He hits them, scratches them, whatever. But I got him one of...
I said, move with my eyes. You didn't listen.
But I got him one of the little dog buttons, and I literally was like, Jed needs space. And then I hit it, and it was like, Jed needs space. And I was like... So I gave it to the lady. Then I said, if you hit this button, it'll say Jed needs space and maybe it'll work. So she's like, do I take it and use it? I said, I would just give it to him. Girl, when I picked him up from that day, because she was like, oh my God, Jed the whole time was like, Jed needs space. Jed needs space. Like, he was literally like, get the fuck away from me.
These are all my toys. Fuckers.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and that was learning therapy. And so I agree with you. Like, whatever it's going to take for your kids to be successful, and circumstances are different. But I don't think that there's any reason why you should tell your kid your bad behavior is okay. And instead of you working it out or me trying to help you work
leave.
Let's just
We're
go.
better than this. Yeah,
we're done here.
No. Mm-mm.
I'm like, yeah,
she did her kid a disservice for sure.
She really did. I was like, this is a perfect learning opportunity. And
of how not to parent.
Of how, yes. Girl, I'm like,
girl.
That was a perfect learning opportunity for her to parent.
Well, yeah, but she didn't do. I meant like she didn't parent.
And that little girl was around.
Like, okay, fine, Bestie, let's leave. Like,
yeah, and just looked at me like I was the issue. I was like, try it.
Okay, bye.
I was already like,
let me tell you this.
Just looking at me like,
oh shit, where's Brittany?
Cam and Ben are like looking up from the playscape. Cam's like, my mom's about to beat up that lady for you.
See what you did, Ben? Jesus Christ, I don't even make her do that shit.
No, Cam, I've lost it on some parents for Cam. I'm like, parents, principals.
I was about to say, we did a conference with Landon's school, and my mom's sitting at the head of the table like this, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Somebody's about to get, shh. There's that fucker. Gordon! And I was like, ooh, somebody's about to die up in here. There was like 6 of the office. There was like the principal, his teacher, like all of his teachers, fucking the counselor, like a whole bunch of people. And my mom's just like, and I'm like, in her head, she's like, oh yeah. I'm like, Mom, I just kept looking like, I'm sitting to the side. I'm like, my son, like, it's okay.
Girl,
she was not playing though. She was like, what?
Johnny Sue is worse. I won't even, like, my mom, we've gotten into it, but like, if she's there and I get into it with an adult over something like Camden or whatever, my mom is the first to be like, my daughter's a doctor. Like, she'll just like say some off the wall shit.
What? Oh no, my mom. She's like, what seems to be the problem? And I'm like, nothing, Mom.
Your mom goes to like the South Austin. My mom's like, we're better than you.
Yeah, my mom's like, we came out of poverty. My mom's like, fuck you. We are poverty. I'm in.
Hold my purse.
Both my parents are fucking down all the time. That's where I'm like, damn, that's where we get it from, man.
No, my mom won't get physical with you, but I've seen my mom like just word slice someone in half.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're cool till we're not cool.
Oh yeah.
And that's when we're like, helping.
And see, for me, it's like I haven't gone to like a physical altercation in years. Mind you, the last one I got in was because this lady wouldn't get away from my car. She was road raging with me, and I was like, nope. And I was like, ma'am, you're so close to my car, which had Jed, who was like 2 months in there, and Cam. And I was like, you get any closer to my car, I'm going to get off my car and I'm going to beat your butt. And she was like, what? And I was like, Cam, lock the doors. Don't let anyone else in but me. So that's what'll do it for me. But like, and granted, like, I'm sure people are watching this or listening and like, Jesus, like, well, that's not a good way to show your kids either. I agree. I've had to work on my anger management.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I don't want like you learn that over time.
You learn that over time,
it's
right?
not just over fucking night,
right? And there's times where, like, if you or your children's physical well-being is in harm, I don't care what the fuck you say. Anybody is going to get physical.
No, that's just like when I accidentally bumped that dude at the stop sign, and he was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh hell no. I was like, my kids are in the car. I was like, look, I can either give you my insurance or I'm bouncing.
Right. I'm not going to have you and you're a grown man and I'm a woman.
Yeah, I'm out.
No, absolutely not. But I think, like I said, you still also have to give your kids the opportunity
to work it out.
Yeah, you do.
I was about to say, me and Courtney the other day, we were downstairs talking, and we were listening to our 4 kids upstairs, her 2 youngest and then my 2. And then you could just hear Bella talking to Landon like, I can't believe you're not going to play with us. Like, all we want you to do is come into the room and play with us and blah, 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 blah. And Landon's like, well, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't want to play what y'all are playing. Da, da, da. Like, they're talking it out, but then Bella gets emotional about it. And Courtney's like, Bella, come here. And she comes to the edge and she's like, I just want him to, they have 5 minutes left. And I just want him. And, you know, it's almost puberty season. But still, I'm just like looking at Courtney like, this is what I have to look forward to, and with like, Harper in a couple years. Fuck.
But it's good. I'm sure Harper
has 5 minutes, so I want him to play. And I was just like, Landon, please play. And he was like, Mom, I only got 5 minutes on the Oculus. And so I'm just like, okay, he never gets the Oculus. Let him play. So like, we're just like, by then we're like jumbling, so we're just like, nah, fuck it, like let's just leave. Like, I mean, ooh, you're like, you know, I'm like, yeah, let's just go.
It's like when we were at Brianna's and the older boys, mine, Zane, and Anthony, were all into trampoline roughhousing after we told them not to, and they all got talked to very different ways, but it was all the same message. If you 3 kids fuck each other up after we've told you not to horse,
we're not taking you to the ER. Did y'all say that? That's immediately what I say. I'm like, I don't have ER time.
I think someone said we don't have ER money.
Oh yeah, ER money. Well, I mean, thank God my kids have TRICARE.
But that's where Brianna was like,
time.
We're still gonna hang out.
Yeah,
you guys have plans. And then they were like, well, we'll just go outside and play football. I'm like, good. That's a great resolution. Look at y'all. Who would have thought? 3 heads, 3 brains. You know, problem solving skills.
There you go. No, yeah, my first is always like, look, I'm not going to the ER, so you're just going to be sitting there with like a little broken chicken leg looking arm or something. And they're like, really, Mom? I'm like, no, I would go, but still, I don't want to. You're like, just stop doing that shit. Listen. I know. But that's what I have to tell Landon. I'm like, I understand you're not hurting anybody else, but like, you're going to hurt your fucking self.
But even then, you've got to admit that a lot of our problems solving skills and why we're probably as gritty and successful as we are is because, well, there was 4 of y'all. There were just me and Star. But a lot of the time we were left to our own devices. Like, we just were left alone. Like, if you were hungry and there was only cooking food in the house, like, you figured out how to make hamburger meat. I still remember, like, the first time me and Star got food poisoning, it's because there was only shrimp and I didn't cook it all the way. And we got extreme. But you know what? I learned how to cook shrimp after that.
I was about to say, you learned it. You're going to learn today. Yeah. Bitch, you don't want to hear about... Oh, my God. There's so many stories that Bubba and Allison will tell you of when I used to babysit them during the summer.
The sock story where Allison got locked out.
Oh, my God. That's one of the stories. Like, I mean, my parents would leave me to babysit.
Right.
And so there was one instance I was watching my little sister. That is one of them.
She told me that story that died.
Yeah, and then Boba has a funny one too. So she was annoying me, so I locked her out front, and I told her she needed to play outside, which back in the day, that was the thing. There was only one TV in the house, which half the time, my dad, sometimes he would hide the remote. It just depended. And
he's like, and no one's not fucking TV.
Well, yeah, he'd be like, y'all need to be playing, y'all need to be doing the chores around the house. You know, we had a to-do list. And you got to set out the meat for dinner. Yeah. Like, if you forgot that shit, you're doomed. Okay? I locked her out front. You're like, fuck the chicken. For real. I'm like, Mom's going to be pissed. Mom, we got to have something different for dinner tonight. But, yeah. And so it was a Saturday. So Bubba had like a little soccer game. And he was probably like 3 or 4. And she literally walked 1.5 miles where my parents were. I think she was like 6.5 or 7. And my mom, she's like, what the fuck? How'd you get here? And she's like, I walked because Brittany locked me out of the house. She was like, in your new socks? My mom was not fucking playing. She didn't give a shit that a 7-year-old just walked 1.5 miles on no sidewalks. There was no sidewalks, mind you. And half of it was foresty looking, like whenever you're like driving down it, like at night, you can't see shit. Like,
I'm telling you, as your sister's telling me the story, it's clear, like it was traumatic for her.
She's like, yeah, and I was just, and all my mom cared about was my sock.
And I was trying so hard to keep in my laugh because I was like, this is some funny ass shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're forced to figure stuff out as a child, your sister's also one of the hardest working people I know.
Yeah.
She's like, I mean, we've worked together briefly when we both did, cells. Mm-hmm. And I know she's back in cells again. And I told her, I was like, you're going to pass your test. You're going to kill it. I was like, because she was put in positions where it's like, I don't want to be outside. And my sister, so I was like, but you could have not. Like, I would have let you back. She's like, time to figure it out and walk 2 miles.
She's just like, fuck, I'm just going to walk. I know how to get there. I'm like, what 7-year-old just does that? Okay, whatever.
And those are the people that you can see now in adult life that are figuring it out.
Yeah. Well,
and people are like, how are you doing this? And
I had no choice.
I had no choice. Exactly.
Well, and even like my brother, I locked him out when he was like 3. And it was during the summer. So, of course, both my parents are at work. And my mom calls the house phone and she's like, did you lock your brother out front? And I was like, yeah, he was being annoying. She's like, he's peeing on the tree. The neighbor called.
Don't even go fuck that at 3-year-olds outside. She's like, if that neighbor calls me one more time, you're done.
He's literally out front peeing on the tree. I'm like, God damn. What an animal. He's like 3. My mom's like, stop walking kids outside. I'm like, they're fucking annoying.
Well, that was like,
because we had a huge age gap. I'm like, Mom, these kids are annoying. She's like, they're your siblings. Love them. Fuck.
I hate you. So I can make them. No, so
she had me and Christian 2 years apart and then waited 5.5 years and then had Bub and Allison back to back. I'm like, what? She's like, I couldn't afford daycare for 4 at once. So I had to wait till I had daycare. She talking about me and Christian. I'm like,
that's your mom figuring it out.
She did. She figured it out. But she had no family support. So she figured it out.
Give your kids the chance to figure it out.
Yep.
And they will need guidance, and you'll still have to parent. I'm not saying
just say fuck it. Do everything.
Yeah, let them kill each other.
Landon would choke hold somebody if I let that.
I mean, Lord of the Flies. Girl.
I'd be like, oh, now we're going to have a Netflix series.
Jed would be the ringleader.
Time I'm like, all right. Like, like I can hear it once it gets to a certain point, and if I hear Landon giggle and go, ha 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 ha, that means he's on top. Like, he's the one in charge. So I'll be like, all right, hey, we're done. No more WWE, because I just don't.
But if they're back and forth bickering,
trauma. Oh, that's totally different. Yeah,
totally different.
But still, even that's annoying as hell. But I'll just be like
For me, I can honestly tune it out.
That's what my mom said. Even the other day, Landon's iPad, I was like, bro, turn off the sound. And my mom's like, oh shit, I tuned that out. I'm like, oh, fuck, I get a headache. I'm like, because I'm trying to listen to this. I'm trying to look at my phone. I'm trying to listen to his shit over here. I'm like, so much is going on.
You're like, I'm overstimulated.
I know. I'm like, I'm autistic.
I know. Well, sometimes too, I'm like, well,
but he needs your space.
I'm going to get you a button.
Thank you.
I need space. I'm
going to put that in my fucking house. And anytime the kids are annoying, Mom needs space. Mom needs space.
Literally.
So I don't have to speak.
2 seconds.
Oh, fucking Harper's has to go 1, 2. Okay. I'm like,
girl, that's Jed. Because Jed's nonverbal. I'm like, if I count to 3 and I have to get you, I'll go 1 and he'll go. He's still a toddler. He just don't talk.
Yeah, he's like
2, 3.
And what?
Yeah. Like, Lord.
You little fuck.
Well, till next time. If your kids get into it, don't let them kill each other.
But also let them work it out.
Give them a chance.
Because they have to be able to do that shit whenever they get older. Like,
they may surprise you.
Actually, yeah, Landon has surprised me a couple of times when I'm actually like, you know what? I'm not going to say shit this time. And then I don't. And then they work it out.
Yeah.
Most of the time I have to threaten, like, the time before. Like, oh, I have such a raunchy headache if y'all keep screaming and fighting with each other. And then we're all doing chores. And then so they would whisper fight with each other as I had a headache.
In the back of the car seat, just...
I told you, shut up. No, you shut up. I hate you.
Is that brother?
We found you in a dumpster.
Shh, you're waking the neighbors.
I'm going to call you brother, even if there's a fire.
I'm like, these kids. Meanwhile, me and Star were just like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to make sure that blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to pour bleach on all your favorite clothes. I was a mean sister.
No, me and Star were bad, but then we were also super toxic because we would just come back together after an hour.
You make up. Oh no! It would take somebody being mean to my other sibling, and I'd be like, "Actually, that's my fucking sibling. You're not gonna talk to them like that." And they'd look at me like,
"Has dirty socks." Allison's like, "I have dirty socks since you locked me out." Yeah, but that's different because I did it.
Mom, I just bought those socks.
She should have said that.
Oh, and Allison doesn't even laugh when she tells that story. She's very serious, and I'm like,
I hope if she hears this, she doesn't take it personal. But when she told me that story, I was like, Dude,
they have so many stories. They're like, "You're the mean sister." I was like, "I'm still am, bitch. Watch out."
You're like, "I had to raise you.
I still whoop your ass.
Please be a little bit grateful. Show some respect."
Real, obviously, you're half your mother. What are you talking about?
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's why you are the way you are.
You're successful because of me.
I kept locking y'all out.
Till next time, guys.
We're lucky there wasn't a fucking child person. Bye.
Bye.